Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Sports Hub.
From Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Braves baseball, and familiar faces meet for the first time since mid-May. The Miami Marlins are in town for the first of a 4-game series as we get set to kick off Alumni Weekend here in Atlanta. Hi again, friends, along with Hall of Famer Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson, Chip Carey. Welcome to the ballpark. It's been a while since we've seen the Marlins. Joe, the Braves and Fish, 5 games separated in the National League East. But at second glance, there's an awful lot more alike for these clubs than just that deficit in the Eastern standings.
And a lot of it starts with their offense on both sides, Chip. Both teams have struggled to score runs all year long. And when you look at this comparison, I mean, what's the difference between these two teams? And then the comparisons really continue from there, Tom.
Runs per game similar. Then you see average age. Braves 27, Marlins 27.4, and we have more.
How about the transactions made? Only the Los Angeles Dodgers have made more than the Atlanta Braves. The Marlins, a ton of moves themselves.
That, to me, is one of the most unbelievable stats. Both teams, 12 remaining guys from opening day for the Marlins, only 10 guys remaining from the opening day for the Braves.
I agree. That's just crazy. And injuries to key players, most notably for the Marlins, of course, Giancarlo Stanton. They lost their opening day starter, Henderson Alvarez, and for the Braves, Freddie Freeman due back, but still on the DL. Jason Grilli lost for the year.
And not surprisingly, with all those similarities, records very similar as well. 11-19 for the Marlins, 12-19 for the Braves. So a lot of similarities and a lot of things not really going right for either team.
You guys know how to play well with others. Nice job on the graphic. Should be a fun night. Matt Whistler will pitch for the Braves. Jose Urena will pitch for the Marlins. It's game 1. Braves and the Fighting Fish here from Atlanta, Georgia.
time against Philly, but he has been fantastic at home, and we are all excited to see him bounce back and hopefully pitch well here tonight. The nasty slider we all love. Keeps the ball down, nice pitching frame. Part of the growing pains, having some bad outings, but he has been fantastic at home. That's our Zaxby's indescribably good play. We had a chance to catch up with him before the game, and he's excited to get back out there and show what he can do.
Yeah, I thought back about, go through a home run that I shouldn't have given up in a situation I can't give that up in. So, working through that, mentally, next time be ready for that. It's kind of this week, just really sharpening my stuff up, staying towards the plate a little bit more instead of falling off the left. I think my bullpen went well, so I'm excited for this week.
There you have it. Excited to get back out there. I love that he is a young pitcher that didn't change anything. More coming back after the Braves. Braves and Marlins coming up next.
Marlins for the first time since mid-May. D. Gordon will lead things off for Dan Jennings, the new skipper for the Marlins. Gordon in the hunt for the batting title in the National League. He hits first on their Academy Sports lineup. Dietrich, Yelich, Bohr, Martin Prado fifth. Ichiro in right field. Echeverria, Mathis, and Urania will face Braves right-hander Matt Whistler.
Matt Whistler making his ninth start on the year, 5-2 with a 4.4 ERA. Most of that coming in his last start against Philadelphia. As we talked about, not a very good outing. Look for him to go out there today and get things back on track.
And for the 22-year-old, his 4 keys to pitching success. Well, as Paul talked about, he's been outstanding at home. So home sweet home here at Turner Field. He's 3-0 here with a 2.33 ERA and some new faces. He's going to see some guys, and he's pitched well against the National League East, but he just hasn't faced the Miami Marlins. So it might take them a couple of times through the order to deal with all 4 of his pitches. Hopefully he's got all 4 working to both sides of the plate tonight.
The Marlins come to town, losers of 3 consecutive games. Miami 15 games out of first place and 5 games behind the Braves, who are in 3rd overall. Both the Braves and Marlins have lost 8 of their last 10 ball games. Atlanta's had good luck against the Fish, 7-2 this year, but 6 of those 7 wins came down at Marlins Park. Miami won 2 out of 3 here in Atlanta very early in the season. So D. Gordon, the batter, 4th in the league in hitting at .329, and tied for first with the most hits in the National League with Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks. And we're underway. Ball 1. A dreary, drizzly evening at the ballpark. Rain started here about an hour ago. And D. Gordon splits the gap in right center field. Long run for Maben. And D. Gordon on his way to second with a leadoff double.
Well, that's nothing new for D against the Braves. Been wearing them out.
Fastball right there. And you're right, Tom. Especially here at Turner Field, better than a 400 average in this ballpark.
"17 doubles for D. Gordon, and here's Derek Dietrich. Dietrich, an infielder by trade, but he's playing the outfield for Miami now. 6 homers, 9 RBIs, and a .274 average.
Always like this guy because he can hit. He's had his share of issues at second base at times, but he could swing the bat.
That just missed the corner. 2 balls, no strikes. Dietrich was playing great for the Marlins. Joe, was it 2 years ago when he got hurt in spring training?
Yeah, he was going to be their opening day second baseman. Took a bad hop to the face. Broke his nose, I think, cracked a cheekbone, and he got a little gun shy after that. It's taken him a while to get over it.
And that missed again. 3 balls, no strikes. Bob Davidson, by the way, has the plate tonight. Dietrich thought that was low, and he's the first hitter to grumble at Bob Davidson. Was it a strike? It's 3-1 now.
Sounded like it hit the dirt. I know. PNC Bank, Fox Tracks are just a good sinker. The way AJ caught it, made it look worse. He may have gotten crossed up. He went out to have a word with Whistler. Whistler's problems at Philadelphia were not really about command, other than command in the strike zone. He was right in the middle of the plate.
Yeah, it's like we talk about sometimes. Sometimes you throw too many strikes and too good of strikes.
And that night they hit every mistake he made.
So it's full count now to Derek Dietrich, the Marlins left fielder. D. Gordon, a good lead out at second. And he lost him. Ball 4 high, 2 on, nobody out for Christian Yelich. Here's a look at the Braves defensive lineup, brought to you by CPI Security. In the outfield, Perez, Maben, and Markakis. Garcia, Castro, Peterson, Trdoslavich around the horn. AJ Przinsky's behind the plate. Wait till we show you Cameron Maben's uniform tonight.
Yeah, what's he got working out there?
Got the softball uni going tonight.
Got some high stirrups. Yeah.
I think I wore mine like that when I first came up. That was the look in the 80s.
I know the St. Louis Cardinals back in the late 70s and early 80s. Everybody had them.
Willie McGee, Vince Coleman. Yeah. That just makes you look fast, doesn't it?
Well, those guys were fast.
Yeah, they were. I like it.
1 ball, no strikes for Christian Yelich, whose bat has come to life. Remember, he got off to a very slow start at the plate for the Fish this year. And that's hammered out of play, foul. We'll see a 1-1 count. Yelich at .265, 6 homers, 26 knocked in. This young man was hitting a .178 into late May, but hitting nearly .300 since.
Yeah, he's returned to his normal lines since he came back from the disabled list. He was on there for a bad lower back, and I think that was contributing to those low numbers early in the season.
That can't get that outside corner called for him early on. 2 balls and a strike. Two on, nobody out. And a line line drive into center field. That's a hit. Here comes D. Gordon streaking around third. He's going to score without a throw. And the Marlins have plated a first inning run courtesy of Christian Yelich.
Yeah. 27th RBI, and for a club that's lost 8 out of 10 and 3 in a row, to get on the board early, it's a big bonus. And he got a fastball belt high over the middle.
So D. Gordon scores another run, and that'll bring up Justin Bour, the big burly Marlins first baseman. We saw Bour back in mid-May. He's the man that broke up Shelby Miller's no-hit bid down at Marlins Park. And there's a strike. Bour got a chance to play because, frankly, Michael Morris was a big disappointment for the Marlins at the plate.
Need a ground ball out of the big man.
Fly ball. Straight away right. Markakis is underneath. He makes the catch. Runner tags and is going to make it to third on Markakis' relay from the outfield. So there's the first out. Productive out. It moves Dietrich up 90 feet. And here's Martin Prado. Martin's still a fan favorite here in Atlanta.
He's been scuffling. He too was on the disabled list. Spent some time on there with a sore right shoulder. 4 for his last 24.
That's upstairs. Ball 1.
And as you recall, Martin very good and has great ability to go to right field. Big opening on the right side.
In the air toward left. Yuri Perez drifts that way. And he'll make the catch. Dietrich is going to tag. He's going to sprint home. And Martin Prado puts it in play. A sacrifice fly makes it 2-0 Miami. So some solid ABC baseball for Miami in the opening inning.
Well, the first inning, like so many of the Braves starting pitchers, has been an issue for Matt Whistler too. Coming into the game, opponents were hitting .290 against him with 2 home runs and 7 runs allowed in 9 starts. So he's under the gun again tonight.
That to me is one of those things that we talk about, how so many things in a clubhouse can be contagious, good or bad, and I think that's another one of those that's contagious in a bad way. I mean, these guys all know that that's been going on, and they want to go out and get off a good start, and sometimes you put too much pressure on yourself. Start trying to have that the perfect inning, in the sense that you're trying to throw every pitch perfectly instead of just having a good inning and establishing yourself and make your pitches and get through the inning as quickly as you can. You just, you start trying to hit the black or the corners instead of maybe outside half, things like that.
A strike to Ichiro, who's behind 0-2.
That's a couple times he's thrown that sinker down and away to the lefties really well, and then hadn't been able to follow it up.
Ichiro's been a nice find for the Marlins. He's got maybe more playing time than he bargained for with the injury to Giancarlo Stanton. Only 250 at bats for Ichiro, who starts play tonight needing 95 hits for 3,000 in the North American Major Leagues.
Yeah, he's kind of found himself in a similar situation, I guess, to AJ.
Yeah. Good comparison.
Runner goes. Pitch high. AJ's throw is late. Ball was dropped by Castro, but it's a steal for Yelich, his 12th of the year. And he's in scoring position with 2 outs.
Long strider. Good jump. Stole that one on Whistler.
Ichiro pokes it to the right side, and Jace Peterson is there, and that'll end the inning. Miami scores 2 runs on 2 hits. Jose Urena, with a rare lead, goes to work next. Just 11 runs of support in 8 starts. He's been given 2 in the top of the first inning. And now the Braves will have to play comeback ball here at home. This is Freddie Gonzalez's Academy Sports lineup. Jace Peterson's back in the leadoff spot. Nick Markakis third, AJ Pierzynski fourth, Cameron Maybin, a former Marlin, will bat fifth. Then it's the youngsters Tardoslavich, Garcia, Castro, and Whistler against a young man who's looking for his second win with the Fish.
Randy making his 9th start on the year. Excuse me. He's 1-5 with a 4.3. You see his first 4, last 4. Started out pretty good, although with a 1-2 record, good ERA. Things are kind of going in the wrong direction here a little bit. The last 4, 0-3 with a 4.2 ERA. So let's see if the Braves can add to that.
Long, willowy guy, 6'3", 175 pounds, out of the Dominican Republic. Low to mid-90s fastball, slider, and a changeup.
So Jace Peterson will lead off. He's been swinging a hot bat for the Braves. And for an extended period of time did a terrific job in the #1 spot on the lineup. There's a strike, even count. This is Jace's 61st leadoff assignment to the season. And he rips a single, or maybe a double. If it scoots by, it's going to. Maybe more than a double. Peterson around second is going to stop there. Leadoff 2-bagger for the Braves, Jace Peterson.
A lot more authority in his swing on this homestand. It actually started in Philadelphia, the last game there. But he's waiting back a lot better. His upper body's not drifting forward, and he's getting good results.
So both second basemen tonight have leadoff doubles in the first inning. And that brings up Yuri Perez, who's hit safely in 7 of his last 9 games. Showed bunt, took a ball. 1 ball, no strikes.
Urena has been up and down with the ball club for the Marlins this year a couple of times. And in June, one of the reasons he got sent back was command. He walked 16 guys in 34 innings.
Bunt. Urena, nice play, but it's a successful sacrifice for out number one.
That was 2 inches away from being a base hit.
It sure was. Long arms. Good job by Perez to get the man over to third.
And that'll bring up Nick Markakis. He's riding a 12-game hitting streak. That's one reason why Freddie has him in the 3-hole. Hopefully those hits will come with men on base. 4 of Nick's 36 RBIs have come at the expense of the Marlins. And now Dan Jennings has a question for Bob Davidson. Sounds like Dan Jennings is asking if Perez made contact on that bunt with both feet out of the batter's box.
Now we've complained about this before, guys stepping out of the box to make contact. But the umpires have told us repeatedly that both feet need to be out of the box. Yes, that front foot was out, but the back foot was not.
Yeah, back foot was clearly in the box.
So Dan Jennings, in his first major league managerial assignment, wanted some clarification and got it. Be no challenge of the call. And Peterson's at third base with 1 out for Nick Markakis. Ball 1.
I've never seen a second base umpire position himself where Hunter Wendelstedt is right now.
Nor have I.
There's nobody on base except the runner at third, and he's certainly not getting in the way of the hitter or the center fielder. But that's an odd spot, isn't it?
Got to be curious what his reasoning is for that.
That's down the line and caught by Dietrich in left. Peterson's going to tag and score. Nick Markakis has his 37th RBI, and the Braves have a first inning run of their own. 2-1 your score.
The mark of a veteran professional hitter. Didn't try to do too much, didn't overswing. He just put the ball in play, tried to hit a fly ball, and was successful in doing it.
Yeah, you look for a pitch up in the zone, preferably in this situation. You can get in the outfield. That pitch actually a pretty good pitch, but maybe where it was a little bit of an off-speed pitch, got out in front and popped it up a little bit, but deep enough for the run.
So it's a 2-1 game now. And AJ Przinsky's the batter. And he unloads to deep right. Ichiro's not getting that. It's off the fence. AJ around first. He's on his way to second, and he'll stand with a double himself. That's pretty salty 3-4 combo in the middle of the order for the Braves right now.
Like he got a hanger. No. Fastball. Right down
Broadway. Trying to go down and away and cut it. Threw it middle in, and that's always the danger zone for a left-handed hitter. Yeah, they got to be about as hot a 3-4 hitters as there is in baseball right now.
Markakis a 12-game hitting streak. AJ's extended to 11 with that 2-out double. And now Cameron Maybin bats. And he was late. Strike one. In the air toward left center. That's going to get down. Here comes AJ around third. There'll be no throw. Cameron Maybin comes through to tie it up.
Cameron changed his socks just to change his luck. He's already gotten some results from that.
Well, with runners in scoring position, he might not have wanted to change anything. He's been so good all year with runners in scoring position, but nice piece of hitting.
Kept his hands in, used that top hand to get the barrel through. Well, let's just start over. What do you say?
Cameron looks like he's 6 inches taller with his pants hiked up like that.
You said he looked fast, Chip. Maybe we'll find out. Mathis is 0 for 6 throwing out base stealers.
Chance for Joey Trdoslavich to pick up some at bats tonight. Pop fly foul out of play. Strike one.
I asked Joey tonight before the game. I said, how many numbers does this make for you this year? And he said 3 since spring training. And then we started going through the numbers, and it was like 5 total in his Braves career.
Yeah, when he retires, which number will he pick?
Yeah, see? I don't know.
It's downstairs for an even count. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you haven't followed the Braves the last couple of days, may have missed the news. Freddie Freeman on the disabled list with a sore oblique. And still no timetable for Andrelton Simmons to return. He's got a bone bruise in his right thumb. This ball's popped up. Who wants it? It'll be Echeverria, the slip-fielding shortstop for the Marlins. He makes the play, and that sends us to the 2nd inning. Good start for the Braves and Marlins. 2-2 your score. South Data Strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by T-Mobile. Fans are going to be hearty tonight. Also going to be awfully wet. It's raining again at the ballpark.
This is manageable, though. If it just drizzles like this off and on, things will be all right. Ed Mang and his crew can handle some wet spots around the infield without any problem.
So new life for Matt Whistler. He's got the bottom of the order coming up for the Fish. Echeverria, Mathis, and Urena.
I was just going to say, if anybody appreciated the 2 runs more than Matt Whistler, I don't know who it would be, because it gives him a restart.
Yep. Restart, get it going again. Try and have a clean inning this inning.
Echeverria, as you know, was part of that big haul that the Marlins reeled in from the Toronto Blue Jays when they cleaned house a couple of years ago. And year by year, Echeverria is turning himself into one of the best shortstops, not just in the National League, but in the game.
Well, it was right here early this year, the first trip by the Marlins, where he got his season going. He wasn't really swinging the bat very well until a big day here. I think it was a day game. And he's hit .344 against the the Braves so far.
So while the Marlins are excited about his bat, and rightfully so, what really gets him jumping for joy is the fact he's gone 42 straight games without an error. And he's second among shortstops in fielding percentage in our league. In the air toward right, long run. Markakis into the corner. He got there. He really had to chase that ball down into the corner. He got there for the first out.
Echeverria 4 errors on the year. Anderson Simmons 3. Hit hard, deep, and slicing. This guy's a Gold Glover too, you know.
And that'll bring up Jeff Mathis. Mathis's season early on was partially wrecked by a broken hand. Jared Saltalamacchia was the Marlins' everyday catcher. Mathis was going to be his backup. Salty didn't play well and was shipped to Arizona. Mathis was DL'd, and they had to bring up JT Realmuto, a youngster in their system and a player they like a lot. Maybe we'll see him tomorrow as Mathis is down on 3 pitches. There's the second out.
Realmuto has been struggling a little bit. I think he's 2 for his last 22, and he wanted to give him a couple of days rest.
That's a good 2-strike breaking ball. Starts out in the zone, finishes down out of the zone.
And here's Urania. He's only 1 for 12 at the plate. That's in play out to second. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. Just what Matt Whistler wanted. Bottom part of the Braves order is coming up. 2-2 in the second. Braves fans, we're just a week away from John Smoltz Hall of Fame bobblehead night, Friday the 14th against the Diamondbacks. Brought to you by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. The first 20,000 guests through the gates will get a bobblehead featuring the newly elected Hall of Famer. Get your tickets today by visiting Braves.com/tickets. Garcia, Castro, and Whistler are coming up. Let's set the Miami defense, brought to you by our friends at CPI Security. Dietrich, Yelich, and Suzuki left to right in the outfield. Prado and Bohr on the infield corners. Gordon at second, Echeverria at short, and Jeff Mathis is the man in the mask.
They started off with arguably the best trio in the outfield in the National League. certainly in the East, if not all the National League. They're missing Marcell Ozuna, who really slumped after we saw him, and they sent him back to AAA, where he's still playing in New Orleans.
And still no sign of Giancarlo Stanton, who's got that broken hamate bone, I believe, right?
Correct. He's supposed to be back before the end of the month. They're hoping within the next couple of weeks.
When Stanton went out, Marlins were trying to dig themselves out of that early season hole that they made for themselves. He had 27 homers, 67 RBIs in just 74 games.
Yeah, I think about Josh Donaldson of the Blue Jays just hitting a home run a day, and he's, I think, in the high 20s. And Stanton's been out for 6 weeks, and he had 27 at that point.
And he's a special player, but gosh, just got to find a way to keep him on the field for 162.
Adonis Garcia leads off and takes a letter high strike. Adonis has hit 3 homers. He's knocked in 4. And he taps towards short. Echeverria, tough play, and he made it. Garcia's the first out.
Good shortstops love these plays. They love the challenge of making these plays. They don't want the third baseman to get in the way. Let me have it. Made it look easy.
I was going to say, that is not as easy a play as they make it look like the good ones.
Martin Prado was smart enough to say, okay, you take that one.
Yeah.
He peeled off. Maybe Echeverria called him off. Ball 1 to Castro. Daniel's done a nice job in place of Andrelton Simmons. He's got hits in 3 of 4 games. 5 hits in total in that stretch. And that one off the pitcher's body. And Urania is down on the grass.
Got him on the outside of the knee, maybe.
He wanted to go get the baseball and couldn't.
Hopefully it hit him to the side and not directly on the kneecap or directly on the shin bone.
And you got it right, Tom.
Inside of the left knee.
Trying to get his bare hand down there even to deflect it.
He's trying to get some feeling back in that knee.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of gyrating there, which makes me believe it will be okay. Daniel Castro, that's 6 hits in his last 18 at bats. Pair of 22-year-olds tonight. Urania will be 23 next month.
That's his pitching coach, Chuck Hernandez, looking on. And we'll see what the verdict is for Mr. Urania. Looks like he's going to give it a go.
Well, his mobility is going to be tested right away. Because you know Matt's going to be bunting.
Like that. May have been what D. Gordon just whispered in his ear.
So Justin Bour in now to talk with the Marlins right-hander about his mobility or how he's going to play at first base. Whistler's laid down one sacrifice. He's 1 for 14 at the plate and has struck out 3 times. Bour says he's got it, and he makes the throw to first where Gordon covers. Sacrifice is good. Runner to second, 2 outs.
Braves pitchers are way better than they were last year at executing the bunt.
And now Jace Peterson's in an RBI spot. He too's riding a hot streak. 5 games with a hit, 9 for 18, including 2 homers. And Castro's got a good lead at second with 2 down. 1 ball, no strikes.
Pitch. It might have been a ball. Still a good pitch. Close enough.
Was for Balkaday Bob.
Mathis with a body block. 2 balls and a strike. A lot of day baseball today as teams play on getaway day. The Nationals beat Arizona 8-3 today. Game played at Nationals Park. Dodgers beat the Phillies in a slugfest 10-8. And another hit for Jace Peterson. Here comes Castro around third, and he will score the go-ahead run. It's 3-2 Atlanta. So the change to the lineup for Freddie Gonzalez has worked to perfection, guys, here in the first 2 innings.
Another guy that's heating up for the top of the order, too. That's a good sign. Fastball up, 1 out around it, combed it. And he's doing a great job of staying back. Not trying to pull as much.
The Braves have their first lead tonight. It's 3-2 in the second inning. The Whistler sacrifice, a key play in the inning, too. Braves laid down a bunt his first time up. That led to a Markakis sac fly. And a bouncer foul. Even count.
You mentioned that game today at Philadelphia. What a crazy start. Dodgers got 3 in the first, and then the Phillies got 5 runs in the first inning of Zach Greinke without an out. He made an error, a throwing error that hurt himself, but also gave up a 3-run homer to Dominic Brown.
And hit one of his own, too, right?
Yes, he did.
As we say, that first inning must have made him mad because he went 3 for 3 with a homer at the plate today.
Yeah, scored 3 times.
So the Dodgers put a win on the board for the Giants play tonight. The Giants start a series with the Cubs. They'll get started in about 20 minutes or so. One ball, 1 strike. Now it's 2-2. Right now, Urania looks loose and free and easy. I would imagine, Tom, that's going to be a bigger challenge this next half inning while his offense goes to work.
Yeah, as time goes on, the more he's got to go over there and sit down in between innings, you figure that knee's going to get a little bit stiff on him. I'm sure they'll try and ice it in between and take care of any swelling, but it's going to get stiff on him.
That's into the seats and out of play. 2-2. That's a hit batsman, I believe. Bob Davidson saying it hit him on the hand. And Perez is going to make his way to first base very painfully.
Back of the hand. Maybe it was the back, the top hand in the back, as he got under the bat. And I still think it hit his left hand.
Yeah.
Well, Bob Davidson and Hunter Wendelstedt are all the way up to the replay headsets. Dan Jennings hasn't given him the go-ahead to challenge the call. He's looking into his dugout. Are they going to challenge or not?
No challenge.
And the Marlins replay showed what we thought. It hit his hand before it hit the bat. So no challenge. Perez at first, Peterson at second, and here's Nick Markakis. That's out of play. Strike one.
Mathis is doing an odd, although successful, job of blocking these pitches. He's coming way up out of his crouch and almost just trying to play the short hop in an effort to keep it in front of him.
In the air toward the gap left center. That'll get down. Peterson scores. Here comes Perez. He's getting a green light. Yelich had trouble picking up the ball at the base of the fence. It's 5-2 Atlanta.
So far, I think Freddie Gonzalez is very happy with his lineup shuffling he did today. Another high pitch, too. And with Perez running at first, that was an easy trip for him to get home.
Well, the Marlins have given up 5 or more runs and 12 or more hits in 4 of their last 6 games. So they got the 5 part down again. Halfway to the 12. It has been a struggle for their pitchers, to say the least, of late.
And don't forget, that includes a Marlins staff that features Jose Fernandez too. So
I'm guessing he's Those other two starters probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We'll see him here tomorrow night against Julio Teheran. That'll be a fun matchup. Braves a perfect 3 for 3 with runners in scoring position already tonight. They've scored 5 runs. And AJ Przinsky bats. Markakis 3 RBIs in the game.
Both guys extended their hitting streaks. Only Nelson Cruz with a longer streak in the big leagues right now. And Jervis Solarte. And they're tied with AJ. I don't know if I said his name right, but sounds like a real good tumbler. You know, it keeps drinks cold.
Yep. Sounded right to me.
Have you got one of those new Jervis Solartes?
I don't.
Marlins will walk AJ Przinsky and bring up Cameron Maybin. When you said tumblers, I thought you were talking about the guy from Uzbekistan who's in the gymnastics ring, you know, one of the tumblers who does the cartwheels and the pinwheels and the back handsprings. Sounds like a tumbler name too, or maybe not.
I hadn't gone there, but yeah, it works.
2 more on for Maybin. There's an RBI hit already. Urania has had a rough inning. And their bullpen is getting busy. Maybe the 8th guy to hit here in the second. 5-2 Braves lead it.
Told you about the Marlins having a lot of new players since we saw them. That's one of them, Aaron Conley. Excuse me, Adam Conley.
Two balls, 1 strike.
25th pitch of the inning on Fox Tracks. Nipped the corner.
His struggles have been doing it 2 in a row. Makes a good one every now and then, but hasn't been able to follow it up.
Fly ball to right. And Ichiro is there, and that retires the side. Good inning for the Braves. 8 men come to the plate, 3 men score. We'll see if Urania is able to continue. He now trails in the ball game 5-2. Some news and notes around the major leagues. These are our Home Depot tools from the dugout. Let's talk first, fellas, about the resurgent New York Mets. New look lineup, and they are rolling and seemingly ready to get healthy again.
Yeah, they get those two guys back. Think that what that will do for their lineup.
Yeah, no question. It's certainly gotten a boost from Cespedes and Kelly Johnson and Uribe, and those three guys at the top of their rotation continue to do their thing. So they're certainly going in the right direction.
Good news for the Phillies too, getting Chase Utley back. He's been out on a short rehab, but he'll join the team and expected, as you see, to play tomorrow at San Diego.
That's a challenge for Pete McCann, the manager. Where and how often does Utley play? Because Cesar Hernandez and Freddie Galvis have been terrific up the middle defensively for the Phillies. And they have Ryan Howard still at first base. So we'll see how that plays out while the Phillies go west. A comebacker, and Whistler leaps and takes away a hit chance for D. Gordon. Good play, 1 out.
What do you say, Tom?
Well, it's just good athletic play. Finish in a good position, give yourself a chance to make a play, and he did. Skied up there.
Oh my. By the way, there was a game here the other night, you may have seen part of it, where there were 8 home runs hit against the Giants.
Saw that.
Early in the game there were 3 that just eluded Yuri Perez out in left field. And we're told that on the network, MLB network, that John Smoltz then later that night demonstrated how you're supposed to go up over the wall and bring a home run back. Which reminded me a lot of how when you went in the Hall of Fame right after that, you put on catcher's gear and tried to show people how to block balls in the dirt.
Well, it's only natural. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, John was a heck of a shagger.
In the air by Dietrich to right. Markakis turning, heading to the fence, and that ball's going to carry out of here. Seven home runs for Dietrich, and that makes it a 5-3 game.
He had a 2 home run game last month.
There it is again, trying to go down and away, and threw it up and away.
I like him.
Yeah, he's a good player. Like this kid too.
Yelich with an RBI hit. Dietrich had a wild night last night. Marlins were down big, scored 6 runs in the 9th inning before falling to the Mets. Dietrich had 2 hits in the 9th inning last night.
Second time he's done that, right?
Had 2 hits in an inning, yeah. He's the first Marlin ever to do it in the 9th inning of play. Christian Yelich behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I sure hope his back problems aren't a lingering problem in his big league career. This kid is really, really talented.
Already with a Gold Glove to his credit. An outstanding swing, and he runs well. Good outfielder.
They've already locked him up through the 2021 season. In the air toward left. That's going to get down in front of Yuri Perez. So Yelich has 2 hits.
Braves handled him pretty well early in the season. He was just 4 for 22 against the Braves. But as we learned later, he was really battling that bad lower back. So we're going to see a different guy from here on out.
And here's Justin Bour. Bohr's been a nice find for the Marlins, a Rule 5 draft pick from the Cubs organization. The Cubs had Anthony Rizzo at first base. No chance for Bohr to beat him out. He's 26 years old.
With Michael Morse gone, he's getting more at bats. He's still striking out about once every 4 at bats, which they hope he cuts down on. Makes a little better contact, but he's obviously got power. And he's the guy that broke up Shelby's no-hitter with 2 out in the 9th.
Well, if he hits homers and drives in runs, they won't care about those strikeouts, right?
No, they won't. When you saw a big old guy like this at the plate, especially one with an open stance, what did you think? If you didn't know him.
Soft. You know, these big burly guys, they want to hit a fastball and they want to hit it a long way, and I wanted to make them hit something soft.
Ground ball through, a base hit. And Yelich on his way to third makes it safely, and 3 consecutive hits for the Marlins have come with 1 out.
When you've got long legs, there's nothing that's more fun than going first to third like Christian Yelich. Backdoor breaking ball, didn't have enough on it. And watch Yelich eat up some ground. Great turn at second.
I don't know what it feels like to run like that. I can only
we'll
watch and be envious.
We'll talk about it sometime, Tom.
Okay, all right.
Martin Prado with a sacrifice fly his first time to the plate. He's up to 28 RBIs. Matt could use a ground ball at someone. Ball 1.
I think it's been a common theme for both these young guys out there today. They just haven't been able to string together consecutive good pitches, and when they do get in good counts, not able to make that out pitch.
Well, he's been kind of a fly ball guy since the Braves called him up, and he's been able to live with that here in this ballpark, certainly. But there are circumstances like right now where you need to get that ground ball.
Yeah, and he's throwing some good sinkers, or what appear to be sinkers tonight, but not enough of them.
Fly ball to center. That'll chase Cameron Maybin back a few steps. And Yelich will tag at third. He will score without a throw. And the Marlins have made it a 1-run game. 2 sac fly RBIs for Martin Prado tonight.
Another pitch that was up.
And now Ichiro with 2 outs. Up the middle, a base hit for Ichiro.
That play he made on Gordon to start the inning, pretty important here at this point.
So 2 runs, 4 hits so far in the inning. And here's Echeverria. Marlins dugout barking about that pitch. Bob Davidson, I believe, said he caught it and then dropped it.
Yeah, that's a strike. Doesn't matter how he caught it. Doesn't look pretty, but that's a strike.
He got crossed up. That's the main reason. He was expecting a breaking ball.
On 1.
All right, got to make a pitch here. Make your out pitch right here.
Here comes the 1-2 offering from Matt Whistler.
Pretty good patience by Echeverria not to offer at that one.
Now the runners will get a head start. Catcher Jeff Mathis waits on deck. Long inning continues for Whistler.
You trust your slider?
Why not?
That's into the crowd foul. We'll do it again.
He threw it, but it wasn't a good one.
No, he hung it. But hung it high enough, he couldn't do anything with it.
Pitch number 26 in the Marlins' third is due. In the air to left. Perez back. Got there. And that will retire the side. The Marlins get 2 runs on 4 hits. Derek Dietrich with a long homer to right got things started. And we again have a 1-run game. And literally after 2 innings of work. 5 runs, 6 hits. Here's how it happened in the Braves' second inning.
Off the bat of Daniel Castro. Off the inside of his left knee. And he did finish the inning, but he's not going to be able to continue in the ball game.
And that means Adam Conley, a young left-hander, is coming out of the bullpen for Miami. They called him up from New Orleans on August the 1st. It's his third stint with the big league club. He's pitched in relief. He's also made a start. It was against the Reds on July the 11th.
Fastball, changeup, slider. Fastball 89 to 92.
Two years ago, he led Jacksonville, their Double-A club, in wins, starts, innings, and strikeouts, and led all Marlins farmhands in wins and complete games. And was a Southern League midseason All-Star in 2013. And like the Braves, the Marlins were also very active at the trading deadline, and like the Braves as well, they acquired a lot of young minor league pitching in those deals with the Braves and Dodgers, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Chicago Cubs.
There's a little sunshine that'll help.
Very gloomy start to the ball game with some steady rain, but the skies are clearing, turning out to be a nice night. And the offenses have had the best of it so far. It's a 5-4 Atlanta game after 2 1/2 innings. So Urania back to the Marlins clubhouse and trainer's room for some treatment on the knee, and Conley will continue to make his warm-up tosses. In the Braves' third, he'll face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Joey Trdoslavich will get it started.
He started from the right side of the plate this time.
One ball, no strikes. High fly ball toward Ichiro and right. He's back a step or two and makes the play. 1 out. Tom mentioned the trouble that the Marlins starting pitchers have had. The same holds true for their bullpen. 3 rookies and 1 pitcher who hasn't had big league experience in over 2 years are in Dan Jennings' relief corps. Marlins relievers this year: 11 wins, 20 losses, and 14 blown saves. And they traded away Steve Cishek to the Cardinals, you recall.
Just reading their numbers, though, when they lead after 6, 34-1. When they lead after 7, 36-1, and then after 8, 39-4. Cishek was the main culprit there on those blown saves in the 9th inning.
A.J. Ramos gets most of the save opportunities for the Marlins now. He's a guy that's given the Braves a lot of trouble late in ball games. And Garcia to center. Yelich in a couple of steps. And the Marlins center fielder makes the play for the 2nd out.
Pitcher spot is due up 2nd in the 4th inning. I can understand if Conley's made a start for them as a so-called long guy, he could really save their bullpen by just letting him hit for himself and keep going.
Yeah, you got to figure that's at least their plan, their thought. I guess I should say we would figure that's what their plan is, but
right.
2 outs for Castro. It was his batted ball that hit Jose Urania. Strike called, even count.
Conley looks a little bit like Ross Detweiler.
.6'3", 185 out of Washington State. And another hit for Castro. Daniels 2 for 2.
Right back through the middle. Daniel continues to do great work at the plate. That's a great shot, isn't it, when that slows it down like that?
At the very least, the Braves get Matt Whistler out of the way here in the third inning. Braves 5, Marlins 4 in game 1 of our series. Ground ball to second. D. Gordon's got that, and that will retire the side. Mathis, the pitcher, and D. Gordon coming up in the fourth. Whistler and the Braves up a run.
For the Marlins, Mike Goff is at home attending a personal matter. That would leave former center fielder for the Braves in the early 80s, Brett Butler, standing in as the bench coach, one of my mentors in the game. And I asked him what was different now than when he played and what he sees today. He says that's easy, paying it forward. When I played, there was a lot of veterans and just a few rookies. Now I see a lot of young players in the game and just a few veterans. His advice: to do what Mama always said and be a good listener. Ask questions and learn the game. You're up here at the big league level. Get advice from those veterans. He said that to both sides of the field. One of the great guys in this baseball game.
And Paul, he started as their third base coach. He moved to the dugout to help out for Dan Jennings. Lenny Harris is now their third base coach.
And Brett Butler does have a lot of managerial history, especially in the Pacific Coast League, where he was the manager of the Reno Aces for a while. His Reno clubs finished second once, third once, first twice. And back out of play by Jeff Mathis as the fourth inning gets started. Only fitting that with Alumni Weekend getting started here tomorrow, that Brett Butler, part of the early 80s Braves under Joe Torre, back in town and here with Miami.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of old friends, I'm sure.
Brett played a few games in 80, 89 games in 82, 151 games in 83, and then was traded to Cleveland. Back our way, Tommy. And just overhead. Full count.
Bad first inning for Whistler. Great second inning. Bad third inning for Whistler. Maybe we'll go in every other inning. Let's hope so.
Good fastball takes care of Mathis. And we'll see what kind of hitter Conley is.
Struck him out on a slider before. Got him with a heater there.
Yep, beat him with velocity, I think, more than anything on that one. That probably caught a little bit more of the plate than he wanted, but got it by him.
One ball, one strike. Another player for the Marlins that they had really high hopes for this year was Jared Cozart. Remember, our throwing right-handed pitcher they got from the Astros. As Conley hits one the other way for a one-out single. So hit by the Marlins pitcher. And then it's his first big league hit.
Pretty solid, too.
Not a bad pitch.
No. A little bit of slashing going on there for Conley.
And that brings up D. Gordon.
Oh.
And that's spun out of Matt's hand. One ball, no strikes. Finish the thought on Jared Cozart, who went 13-11 between Houston and Miami last year. Vertigo has wrecked his season. And that's a real shame.
I don't wish that on anybody.
No, sir.
So with Cozart out, with Herron traded, with Henderson Alvarez going through season-ending shoulder surgery, you can see why the Marlins are considered to be a bit pitching thin. Their hope was to hang on, be relevant, and have Jose Fernandez come back and help them to a playoff push. One ball, two strikes.
They traded Nathan Eovaldi to the Yankees, and we all liked Eovaldi and his fastball, the life on his pitches, and he's doing just fine with the Yankees. The other guy I really like is Kohler. Tom Kohler is 8-8 with a 371, and he has those up and down games where he gets shelled and then he throws a gem. We see him here Saturday.
D. Gordon didn't get a high fastball. He's struck out. Two are away in the inning.
That might have been his best sequence of pitches tonight. Got him on strike one on a slider going in on his hand, strike two on a changeup down, and then after the changeup climbs the ladder with the fastball and blew it by him.
Derek Dietrich has a good night working. Dietrich came over from Tampa Bay for Yunel Escobar. It was before the 2013 season. Dietrich played at Georgia Tech, semifinalist for the Golden Spikes Award in 2010. And that just missed. 2 balls and a strike.
That shot of Martin Prado in the dugout. I mean, that is so Martin, just constantly either doing things like that with his swing or talking about other hitters and their swings and how they use their hands.
Big luxury for young guys to have guys like that around them.
Just saw Gregor Blanco here with the Giants. Martin in with the Marlins. Both learned how to play the game the right way in the Braves organization.
Ground ball. Peterson smothers, surrounds, and throws him out. Nice play by Jace Peterson on a ball hit to his left. Dietrich and the Marlins are out of luck in the 4th inning. Braves maintain a lead and have the top of the order coming up next. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's turning out to be a lovely night, and it was a lovely night here 5 years ago in Atlanta, Georgia. And Tom, I know you remember this day very fondly.
I do. Hard to believe it was 5 years ago, but nonetheless a night I'll never forget, and still get chills every time I come in here and look at that.
That's my favorite shot.
Yeah. Can't believe how young my kids were.
Man, yeah, how little they are.
Look at that, 3 lefties out there.
And really, August 5th and August 6th are very special days in the life and baseball career of Tom Glavine. I mean, it's like the baseball gods had that all planned out, didn't they?
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, 300th win was the 5th. Number retired on the 6th. Braves Hall of Fame. So yeah, back-to-back good days in August, a few years apart for me, but 2 days I'll never forget.
And we won't forget them either. And there'll be a lot more memories this weekend with your pals coming to town for the annual Alumni Weekend, one of the best weekends of the summer for Braves fans everywhere. Got a lot of guests lined up for our broadcasts all weekend long, so we hope you'll join us. And if you haven't made your plans, come on out. Friday night fireworks as always, the big softball game on Saturday, the replica World Series rings available too.
And keeping with the "it's hard to believe" theme, I can't believe it's been 20 years.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Who had the hit? Who got the one hit?
David Justice.
No.
Oh, against me, yeah. Pena. Blooper to right behind Lemmer.
One ball, one strike. And a swing and a miss. Freddie Gonzalez changed up his lineup once again. The Braves have had, I think, 95 different lineups this year. And it's worked out great. Peterson first, Markakis third, Przinsky fourth, Maben fifth. And all of those men have had a hand in the Braves' 5-run outburst. And Peterson's retired on strikes. Good pitch by Adam Conley. 1 out. First time Peterson's been retired tonight.
Pretty good sinker here.
I think it might have been a changeup.
Might have been late.
Yeah.
Late movement.
Which, love it. Great pitch. Change up in. Good pitch.
There's a strike. It's 0-1.
When the season started, there were people who felt like it had a wide range of where the Braves might finish in the division. Everybody knew that it was going to be a different type of year. But for the Marlins, they had extremely high hopes.
Echeverria at short.
With the changes they made and with the outfield they had, they knew they were going to get Jose Fernandez back, almost like a trading deadline acquisition that would be a frontline starter. So what's happened to them this year is a ginormous disappointment to them, and I'm sure their fans.
And once again, they unloaded a lot of their high-priced stars, which is a perpetual sore spot with their fan base. Morse is gone. Latos is gone. Dan Herron is gone.
And injuries set in, and that really kind of messed up the works for him.
Yeah.
Ozuna slumped. There were a lot of things that went wrong.
No balls at a strike.
You can have the best late plan, so to speak, but you start getting an injury or two to some key guys, and man, that just changes everything.
Oh, Nick Markakis swung at that pitch. It hit him. It's a strike. And he's shaking his left hand.
Boy, that was a knuckle buster on the bat. Did it hit him twice?
On the ricochet, I think it got him on the left shoulder.
Yeah, I think he fouled it off the handle, and then it hit him in the back shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Again to short, and Echeverria with the peg to first. That will take care of the Braves in order. Believe it or not, that's only our second 1-2-3 inning of this ball game. Off we go to the fifth. Braves still lead by a run.
Doors, right stuff, low price every day.
5-4, Atlanta leads the Marlins. Look at that golden sunset here in Atlanta, Georgia. Markakis got a fingernail problem after being plunked, and he'll be tested by Yelich, who drives one into right center field. Christian around first. He's on his way to second. He was thinking double out of the box all the way, and he's got a perfect 3-for-3 night.
The guy can run. He may not have, the kind of speed that people talk about with the D. Gordon or base stealer types. But my goodness, he covers a lot of ground. Long strides. He cuts the bases beautifully. This was no contest.
Two singles, an RBI, a run, a stolen base, and a double for Yelich already. And that'll bring up Justin Bour. He's 1 for 2. Well, we've talked about the Marlins' disappointing year this year. But if you look at the core of this club, guys, I think we'd all agree that there are a lot of really good pieces in place looking ahead to 2016 in Miami.
Yeah, but it seems like we've said that every year, or at least it seems like the last 3 years anyway. We've been saying that about their core guys.
That'll be a productive out. Turdoslavich hits Whistler. Runner to third. Good play by the Brave defense. Good sequence for Bour. The tying run 90 feet away.
Yeah, nice job by the cleanup hitter. The big old boy did what he was supposed to do.
Well, if you look at the Marlins staff, Fernandez, Kohler, Phelps as those your top three. You look at their position players: Real Muto, Bour, Gordon, Echeverria, Prado, Ozuna, Yelich, Dietrich, Stanton. It's not too shabby.
No, it's really good. But again, you gotta get more games out of Yelich and Stanton. I mean, there's no question about that.
Right back where it came from on the first pitch. Whistler almost caught that. And Martin Prado with a base hit ties the game at 5 apiece.
Third RBI of the night.
Thought he had it.
Just off the edge of the glove.
So the Marlins manufacture the tying run, and that brings up Ichiro, who's 1 for 2. 10 runs, 16 hits, and we're not halfway through the game tonight. And ball 1.
I talked about the Marlins pitchers' struggles. The Braves are working on 7 straight games where they've given up 10 or more hits, so they're going down that road again.
Second straight game where Whistler's allowed a big number. This time out, the Phillies scored 7 runs in 4 2/3 innings. Tonight, Matt's given up 5 runs in 4 1/3.
And I think it's the same thing he did in Philadelphia, and he talked about it before the game, what he was trying to fix, but it's been fastball command.
Ichiro Suzuki got a base hit his last time up. You add up his Japanese hits and his American hits, he's at 4,184 hits.
How old is he?
41. He'll be 42 in October.
How old was he when he started playing professionally in Japan?
18.
Wow.
He still looks 18, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He still looks very young.
Played in 40 games at 253.
Two balls and a strike. Many were surprised that Ichiro agreed to a contract with the Marlins. If memory serves, the Marlins front office delegation went all the way to Japan to personally recruit Ichiro to come play for the Marlins, and he was obviously very impressed with the pitch and agreed to come to South Florida.
His first full year in the Japanese league, he hit .385 in 616 at bats, 13 homers, 54 driven in.
Well, I don't think he's going to get, what's he need, 93 more hits for 3,000?
94.
94. I don't think he's going to get that this year, but I mean, obviously you would think he'd want to play one more year, and based on the way he's played this year, you've got to believe there's going to be some teams that are going to be willing to give him a shot to do that.
He had never played in the National League, so when they came calling and were trying to recruit him, and especially when he had a chance to look at their roster and who was going to be on their team, you can understand why, A, to change leagues, and B, be on a good ball club. Detweiler loosening.
If I was a pennant contending club in the American League, I would certainly have an interest in inquiring as to Ichiro's availability before September 1st. 2 on 1 out for Echeverria. Marlins have tied the game 5-5 in the 5th.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pitch.
Ground ball to short. Castro's got it. Peterson's going to turn it. And Whistler got exactly what he needed. Echeverria's doubled up, and the Marlins settle for a tie. 1 run, 2 hits. 1 man left. Home 5th coming up. 5-5 your score. For Atlanta against young Adam Conley here in game 1 of this series. Let's check out our Home Depot tools from the dugout. There are a lot of Braves principals that have enjoyed feasting on fish.
And Cameron Maben is a former Marlin. Great numbers for him. AJ and Nick Markakis. Chris Johnson likewise at .291 with 14 extra base hits. Chris not in the lineup tonight. The other 3 guys are.
And they've all added to their totals.
And they're going to need some more tonight.
Those fans in the spirit of alumni weekend. And AJ Pierzynski starts things off. And he shoots one toward Ichiro on the first pitch. 1 out. Conley set down 5 straight now. And here's Cameron Maben.
See where the I think it was the mayor of Boston wants to ban tobacco at Fenway Park.
I did see that.
Meaning players too.
Two balls and a strike.
I know there are guys who've been chewing and dipping for a long time, but with all that we know about it now, I'm surprised that so many still do. It looks like Cameron's got a little chaw in tonight.
It's into the seats, foul, and a full count.
Did you ever try to dip, Tommy?
Tried it one time, and thank God I got sick, and that was the end of it.
Dizzy?
Yeah, but you know.
Me too.
Yeah.
Full count pitch for Maven. And that's ball 4. You mentioned he was a former Marlin. He was traded for Miguel Cabrera. And in Cameron Maben's first start with the Marlins, September 18th, 2008, he broke in with 4 hits. The Marlin to do it up until that point of the Marlins franchise history was Mr. Marlin, Jeff Conine, and also Carlos Delgado.
Forgot about Delgado playing there. If you want to have that feeling of a chaw in your jaw, I did this in high school because I thought I could fool everybody. I just got a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
Big Tootsie Roll.
Yep.
Had it in my jaw. I mean, when you spit, it's brown, so accomplished the same thing. And I never got sick. Teeth rotted out, but other than that, it was good.
Well, you can get those fixed.
Yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes. Cameron draws a throw.
Joey's got a good swing, and he's had success in the minor leagues. It hasn't translated to this level, but his at-bats at this level have been sporadic. But with Freddie on the disabled list, maybe he'll get some extended time. I know Chris Johnson's going to play too, but maybe that'll help Joey get his feet under him.
Line drive right field, base hit. Maven streaks around second. He's on his way to third. Yelich fell down, and the ball's behind him. Ternaslovich on his way to third, and the Braves have taken the lead.
What in the world happened?
Looked like he overran it a little bit and then kind of tried to jam on the brakes.
I don't know if that was a hit and run. Maben was running, but he hit it perfectly. Oh, he just slipped, and then it went under him. He was digging up some turf trying to stop.
So the Braves take the lead 6-5, and the infield comes in for Adonis Garcia. The scoring on that play is a single for Ternaslovich and a 2-base error, no RBI.
Reason I think it was a hit and run was the way Joey went after that pitch. Took a little off his swing, a little inside out, like he was really trying to hit the ball to right field. Great execution if it was.
How come when a guy loses a ball in the sun, it's not an error, but when a guy slips and the ball goes by him, that's an error?
See, I'm not sure. I'd have to watch that replay again. I don't think that was right.
At first glance, I don't think he even touched the ball. It just went right underneath him as he skidded by. Swinging a high fly ball left center. Yelich on a dead sprint. Still going. That baby is gone. A moonshot by Adonis Garcia, his 4th home run, and the Braves have scored 8.
Well, he's shown some pop. When he hits them, they go.
It's the first one he's pulled. Everything else has been to right center.
It was a fastball or a changeup. Stayed up in the zone. Hammered it.
Got a little wind blowing out that way that helped too, but that was a rocket. Again, the story on him that we've learned was that he got released by the Yankees, and the Braves staff, they were calling around and asking each other, do you know much about this guy? And Eddie Perez was the one who said, yeah, he can hit. Let's get him. I think Eddie had seen him in winter ball.
Garcia was born in Cuba, lives in Venezuela. And a strike. Last year played at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, hit 9 homers in 86 games. Played in the Venezuelan Winter League, where Eddie managed this past offseason. Drove in 41 runs in 57 games in Venezuela.
Say for which team?
It does, but I can't pronounce it.
Maracaibo?
Navegantes de Magallanes. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's sounds perfect. Perfect. Yeah, it was.
Broken bat.
That's as I recall, I think that's one of the. Caracas has a team, and the Magallanes are out in the suburbs, a little away from Caracas, but near there. So Eddie would have seen him a lot. He does get that bat head out there. I know that.
Top of the hour, 3-2 pitch, and down the right field line, and that's into the stands. Nice catch.
Back to that error out in right field. When the guy's slipping and falling down, I don't know how you can charge him with an error. Just like you said, Tom.
Fly ball. Yelich says he's got this one, and he does. And that's the second out. Let's see if Christian touched the ball on the way by as he was trying to keep his feet.
I don't put a lot of stock in that, Chip. I mean, obviously he's trying to get something in front of the ball as he was going down and couldn't. But I mean, if a second baseman's going to field a ball and never touches it and it goes through his legs, it's still an error.
Right.
But the fact that he was falling down, even if he had touched it, I think it should have been a hit.
Maybe that'll change. Jack Wilkinson, I believe, is the official scorer tonight. And Matt Whistler, another lead. He's got an 8-5 advantage and hits with the bases empty. And that one's popped to the right side. Bohr in foul ground makes the play, and that retires the side. Adonis Garcia has shown plenty of power in his brief career as a Brave. He's hit his 4th home run, a towering moonshot toward left center field. A 2-run blast extends the Atlanta lead as we move to the 6th inning.
was able to sneak into the clubhouse and ask a few of the guys who they are most looking forward to see over the weekend. Let's take a listen.
It's a pretty tough question.
Charlie O'Brien, because he's the one who teach me a little bit how to catch, and I took his job.
Just getting excited about this weekend, but I got to know, Chip, Joe, Tom, who are you guys most excited to see this weekend?
I'm looking forward to seeing Chris Chambliss, who was a first baseman in the early 80s when Joe Torre managed the club. He was a teenager, loved the Braves back then, so I hope to see Chris when he gets to town.
Steve Avery. Always like it when we get to see Steve come back. I don't think he's missed one of these alumni events, and living in Michigan, it's kind of hard to get back here. But I always appreciated Steve's spirit and certainly his ability, and I like it when he's here.
Abe would be on my list too. Always love seeing Murph and Nuxie. I hope Merker comes back. I haven't seen Kent in a while.
Yeah.
And Mark Wohlers. He lives here, and I see him probably as much as I see Blauser, which is never.
Yeah. Oh, I put Blauser on that list too. 1A for me. And if he's listening tonight and doesn't show up, there's going to be a headlock for him too, just like on AJ and Marquise.
I like it. Paul, who are you looking forward to seeing here starting tomorrow?
Well, I'm going off the board. I would go Bob Horner because I had a blonde mullet in the mid-'80s because of him. So, Bob, if you are listening, please come back.
That does look like horns.
That does. Got that glove turned upside down. How about that?
All right. Okay, Foxtrot doing their homework. Very nice.
Hey, you got some Cameron Maven socks working too, don't you?
I do. That was the style in the 80s. It didn't make me faster, but you guys were right on the look. You definitely put a little fear when you lead off of first base.
What's the deal with the glove turned up? Was that just by accident, Paul?
Almost looks like he's got a left-handed glove on backwards.
Well, guys, I'm in nowhere, Kentucky. We didn't talk about pitching mechanics. You just, like Don Gullett, you grabbed it and chucked it. So that's what came out in the wash.
See, when I was a kid, being a left-hander, there weren't many left-handed gloves around. All the guys I played with were right-handed, so I always had to wear the glove backwards a lot of the times, especially catcher's mitts. And that's kind of what it looks like. He's got a bit like a left-handed glove on backwards.
So not the start that Whistler wanted in the 6th inning. His team just gave him a 3-run lead, and he walks the leadoff man. And now Conley, fresh off his first big league hit, will try to bunt.
Please, he's probably saying, Skip, I'm hitting 1,000. No swing.
Well, the other part of that walk is that he'd struck out Mathis twice before that.
And those are all part of the growing pains, like he talked about in Philly with his last start and things he learned. You got a 3-run lead and you got the 8th guy up. I'd rather see you give up a solo homer than walk him.
There's the bunt. And it's a good one. A sacrifice, runner to second, one away, and the top of the order is due.
Third sacrifice for Conley.
And Freddie Gonzalez is making his way to the mound. Whistler's thrown 95 pitches tonight, and it appears that's the last pitch he will throw here in game 1 of the series. Whistler goes 5 1/3 innings. 5 runs, 9 hits. Mathis is his responsibility. 3 walks for Matt tonight to go along with 3 strikeouts and a home run ball. So he leaves with a lead. It's 8-5 Atlanta, and the Braves bullpen will be in play here in the middle innings. And fans, we hope you'll join us this Saturday, August 6th. Get your very own 1995 World Series replica ring, available for the first 20,000 guests in attendance. Also, be sure to catch members of the 1995 team take on the other alumni legends in the 6th annual softball game before the Braves take on the Marlins. There are tickets available. Visit us at braves.com/1995. And speaking of 1995, time to go back to the memory banks. Tonight's Bank of America Memory Bank is that magical 1995 World Series.
That swing by Klesko cracks me up every time. The flip of the bat.
I love seeing highlights of Rhino hitting a home run and just flipping his bat like that.
And he'll be here this weekend too. He's another man on the list that all of us enjoy spending time with.
He used to take some big old swings, and the bat would whirly-bird around, and he might foul it off or miss, but then you kind of look back at the catcher like, what'd you think of that?
Yeah.
Got lucky there, didn't you? Oh, Rhino, he's great.
And as you said, Tom, hard to believe it's 20 years now.
Man, oh man, I mean, it really is. I mean, so many, I mean, obviously the baseball life, that was a long time ago. Your personal life, a lot of things changed and whatnot, but man, it's just, I don't know, it's just hard to get my hands around that one, that was 20 years ago.
How did life change for you after the World Series? I mean, obviously you went to the Hall of Fame and the like, but was that a life-changing thing for Tom Glavine, the baseball player?
Yeah, because it's one of those things that you don't necessarily expect to experience, you know, like a lot of other things, but you hope to, and certainly here we thought we would at some point in time, but you know, certainly going into it, you hope you're going to play for a World Series, but it's certainly not something that's guaranteed. It's not part of your contract, so to speak.
It's Matt Marksberry, he's on in relief, and he misses high to D. Gordon. Gordon's got a hit in 3 tries. He's scored a run after a first inning double. The Marlins scored 2 runs in the opening inning. Jose Urena gave it right back. And Gordon with a bunt. It's bounced foul behind the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gordon with 130 hits now. 14 of them have come against the Braves. Back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Ball comes out of Marksberry's hand pretty nice too. Might be tough to pick up for left-handed hitters especially. Last year, 2 games at Lynchburg. He was 1-0 and then spent most of the year at Rome where he was a starter. He was 5-10, but a good ERA of 3.5. 98 strikeouts, 111 innings.
Make no mistake about it, these are big outings for these youngsters in the Braves bullpen because these are live games. Teams that are in playoff races, you find out a lot about these young players right now, and we're trying to make an impression for Freddie Gonzalez and Roger McDowell for 2016 too. Popped him up and right at Cameron Maybin. He didn't have to move a muscle.
That's why, you know, you hear a lot of times this time of the year for teams like the Braves or the Marlins, or they're not playing for anything and there's nothing to play for. Don't believe that for a minute, because there's a lot of guys on that field on a nightly basis that are playing for a whole lot, whether it's an opportunity to come back for this team next year, be in the mix, or be a trade piece somewhere along the line, or, you know, maybe play their way into a team for next year that's watching them and saying, hey, that would be a good guy for us to go get if the Braves let him go. So there's a lot on the line.
I've said it 100 times. There's always somebody watching. They're always evaluating you in one way or another, whether it's your actual physical ability or the way you conduct yourself on the field and how you go about your business.
Dietrich's had a good night. And he hammers that ball a mile down the right field line. Did he keep it fair? No.
How did he get to that ball? That thing looked like it was way in on him.
Not only get to it, but come that close to keeping it fair.
Yeah. Down and in, he just golfed it.
back to the screen. Foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Wouldn't mind seeing him go to something else. He's 2 pretty good swings at a fastball.
He's got that open stance. The one thing that Frank Menachino's, the hitting coach for them, has been trying to get him to do is not dive so much. Just square up your stance and then hit the ball where it's pitched. And he's getting that front foot down quickly. There's the hitting coach for the Fish. When he dives too much, the report is that he then, only thing he's got going for him is to open up and try to pull everything.
He hung a breaking ball but lived to tell the tale. Markakis in right center gives way to Maven, and that will retire the side. Nothing comes of a leadoff walk for the Marlins in the 6th. Atlanta still leads by 3. City. We will depart Atlanta Sunday and make our way down to Tampa Bay for a brief 2-game series with the Rays beginning next Tuesday night. Here's we start our series with another team from the state of Florida, the Marlins. At the bottom of the 6th inning, the Braves lead 8-5. Here is how we've gotten here. Our CPI security game summary.
Well, the Marlins jumped on top with 2 in the top of the 1st. Braves tied it up in the bottom half. Good work there by A.J. Przinsky and Nick Markakis. Jace Peterson and Adonis Garcia have had good nights as well. 9 hits for each side.
This is Brian Ellington in his 3rd big league game. He made his major league debut Monday night against the Mets. And he serves one up to Peterson, who rips it toward left. And Dietrich made the running catch. And there's out number 1.
Ellington started the year in Double-A. Was doing real well, 4-1 with a 2.51 ERA, and then he missed the entire month of July while playing on the Team USA Pan American Games. They won the silver medal, and then when he came back, they promoted him to New Orleans in Triple-A.
6'1", 211 out of Gainesville, Florida. Brian Ellington.
Did you say 6'1"?
So it says.
He looks bigger. 95 to 98 fastball, curve and a change.
Ooh. He had Tommy John surgery as a high school senior. His junior year in high school, he threw 3 no-hitters. Played 1 year at Florida State College in Jacksonville, transferred to the University of West Florida in Pensacola. The Marlins picked him up in the 16th round in 2012.
With that arm action and that velocity, I can see how he can do real well if he's got a secondary pitch of any kind.
Little pop into shallow right that Ichiro can't catch up to. Yuri Perez with a bloop single.
That was an attempt at an off-speed pitch, but it wasn't a very good one.
No, hanger. Every Brave regular, with the exception of Joey Tadoslavich, has a hit tonight now. Markakis' hit came in the second. It was a 2-run double. He's got 3 RBIs in the game, has 39 of them for the season. Runner goes. The pitch is strike. Mathis' throw is late. A steal for Perez, his third. Let me correct myself. Tadoslavich had a single on that ball that Yelich overran in center field, slipped and slid on the outfield grass. So every regular has a hit. My mistake.
Yuri was leading the International League in stolen bases when he got called up. He now has 3 for the big league club.
So let's see if Nick can pick up a 4th RBI.
Ow! Unsuspecting fan walking on the concourse between field level and terrace level. I think she's going to be okay. I don't know where it hit her, but I know it hurt. She got a tray full of food. She's wondering what in the world just happened. I think she's going to be okay.
And she ended up with a baseball. Attaway. Up the middle, Echeverria glides and gets his man. Mr. Ellington went after that ball with his pitching hand.
Our producer Gretchen Caney said, you know what, it looked like maybe she was getting all prepped for Billy Currington tonight as soon as the game's over.
So 2 are out. Here's AJ. He's doubled and scored to highlight his night. And for Madison Bumgarner silenced the Braves yesterday. And his bats have awakened for 8 runs on 10 hits.
Braves are 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight.
That's fouled and out of play. 0-2.
Back-to-back changeup and then 97 for you.
Yeah, up too, right where Mathis wanted it, up out of the zone. Wow, nice spear there by Mathis. Good work by Wild Thing.
Scoreless sixth under his belt. And now the 1-2 for AJ. He's not close. 2-2 your count. Told you about AJ's long hitting streak now of 11 games. But he's had an extended run of excellent work. Since July 1st, Brzezinski's hitting .374 for the Atlanta team. I recall AJ started the year offensively red hot too. Started the season with a 13-game hitting streak.
And he hit a big home run down in Miami to win a ball game late. That might have been his first one of the year.
That was game 3 of the season. Game the Braves won 2-0 behind Shelby Miller in the Braves bullpen. Fly ball left. Dietrich has it tracked. And he's got it to retire the side. 8-5 Atlanta. We're through 6 at Turner Field. Pretty night. Performs after the game Thursday, October 1st for a free post-game concert brought to you by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. Tickets are going quickly. Get them now at braves.com/concerts. We have a nice crowd for the concert here in Atlanta tonight, and hopefully it'll be a happy start to the show. Atlanta's leading 8-5 as we've completed 6 innings. Marksberry back out there for the 7th inning with Yelich, Bohr, and Prado due for the Fish. Whistler allowed 5 runs in his 5 1/3 innings, but he got 8 runs of support tonight. And he's in line to win it if the Braves bullpen can hold the lead. And a strike.
They did make a scoring change on the ball hit by Turdoslavich that got under Yelich when he slipped and fell. It's now a triple and an RBI for Turdoslavich. His first big league triple.
The screen by Yelich, who's had a perfect night at the plate. In the air toward Maben. Long run. Cameron still going. Got there. And the rain begins to fall again at the ballpark.
That doesn't look quite so much like drizzle as we had before.
No. Justin Bour's got a hit tonight. He's 1 for 3. And that's upstairs, ball 1.
It was kind of funny from up here to watch the mad dash for the seats under the overhangs when the rain starts to fall.
To second. Peterson to his right. And there's the second out. One of the features of SunTrust Park, which fans will appreciate, is we're told that 60%, Joe, was it, of the seats,
I think so,
are going to be covered either by a much larger roof overhang and by the overhang of the cantilevered second and third deck at the new ballpark. So we'll have nearly the mad dash, as you called it, for the fans sitting in the lower portion of the stadium.
It's not nearly as funny here as it was across the street.
Yeah.
That lower bowl was so wide, and there was no place to go except all the way up to the top of the concourse, and people would get stuck in the aisles. There was madness, but it wasn't due to chaos.
Well, hopefully those overhangs will make it a little more pleasant on Sunday day games too.
That's the plan. Told the roof will be, was it 90 feet, Joe? 90 feet in width to protect the upper deck and lower portion of SunTrust Park. Popped up and headed for the seats. Martin Prado now, a 1-2 pitch. Drove by the ballpark on the way to Turner Field tonight. Construction still going at a feverish pace. We're told that the ballpark is actually ahead of schedule and should be ready to go, barring unforeseen setbacks. Opening day 2017.
You didn't see anybody taking breaks, did you?
Nope. Bouncing ball back to the mound. And Mark Sperry will flip to first, and that'll send us to the 7th inning stretch. Atlanta 8, Marlins 5 in Atlanta. throw around third, and he will score the go-ahead run. It's 3-2 Atlanta. In the air toward the gap left center. That'll get down. It's 5-2. Swinging a high fly ball left center. Yelich on a dead sprint. Still going. That baby is gone. Always fun when you have a big night at the plate. The Braves have 8 runs, 10 hits. Those are some of our Toyota key plays to the game, and the Braves in good shape entering the home 7th tonight. Cameron Maybin will get things started. Ellington back out there. He delivers a strike.
See, I'm proud of Cameron for knowing which side of the sock to wear, how to put them on. These guys these days wouldn't have a clue in most cases, but the shorter stirrup goes in the front, and the higher stirrup goes in the back.
Yep. That'd be a fun feature for Paul maybe to do. Take the stirrups down to the locker room and hand them to the young players and see who can put them on the right way.
Well, I should have known. We should have known that Cameron would definitely know how to be stylish and do it right.
Oh, 2 pitch. Cameron Maybin this year with the Braves is flashing back to arguably his best year in the big leagues a few years ago with the Padres. Back to the mound. And he'll be retired for out number 1. 2011, Maybin played 137 games, hit .264, scored 82 runs, 9 homers, 40 RBIs, and stole 40 bases.
No comparison to where he was this time last year.
He said he's a Southern kid, loves being close to home. His friends and family are at every home game, and he looks comfortable. He looks happy, and I think he and the Braves are happy that he's still here after the trading deadline.
Yeah, and he went through a dry spell, or he has been going through a dry spell for the last couple of weeks that have really knocked a lot of points off his average, but it'll start creeping back up.
Sure, part of that was the stress of the deadline.
You bet.
Trdoslavich to left. Dietrich got there. 2 outs. Andrew McKirahan loosening up. Looks like he'll be coming on for the 8th. We'll see about that. Here's Garcia. High arcing home run off the bat of Adonis back in the 5th. One ball, no strikes.
This next graphic would tell you that it's just easier to hit in the big leagues. That's all.
For some guys it is.
And I say again, he gets the barrel out there.
That's lifted toward left. Long run Dietrich. And he makes the two-handed catch. And that sends our game to inning number 8.
Delta Airlines and your local Ford dealer.
Back with you in Atlanta. Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine, Chip Carey, Paul Bird as well. As we promised you earlier tonight, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag South Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by T-Mobile. We started our broadcast talking about how similar these two teams are and how many changes in personnel they have had. Here's an amazing stat for you. Andrew McCurahan is the only member of the Braves bullpen currently on the team that was with the club on opening day.
Goodness gracious. Wow. And he was with the Marlins in spring training, right?
Yep.
1 walk, 10 strikeouts, and 10+ innings.
The Braves are hoping McCurahan can be like Eric O'Flaherty or Johnny Vetters, a guy that can come in and give you innings but neutralize the left-hand hitting portions of opposing lineups. He's got a tough bat to face here in the 8th. First, it's Ichiro Suzuki.
Andrew's done some modification on his wedgies too. I talked to him about it today, and I said, you've got us to blame for this, but the Braves didn't like all the white, more white than black on his shoe, so they've modified it a little bit, got a little more black on there down at the bottom, and he says, I've got some new ones coming.
Rain's coming down heavier now. 3 balls and a strike. And Ichiro, as is his custom, gently lays down the bat and makes his way to first base.
Got a little of that off and on all night.
Echeverria's had no hitting luck so far tonight. He's 0 for 3. Last time up, he hit into a double play. Shows bunt, pushes it to the right side. Peterson sniffed it out and couldn't get it out of his glove. It's a bunt hit for Echeverria, the 5th he's done this year. And the Marlins are in business with 2 on and nobody out.
That was really a smart play. They need base runners. And his effort brings the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, I think the only chance Chase had on that play would have been to flip it with his glove. You're not cheating a little bit as a second baseman there. You get that ball past the pitcher and you can run. You're going to get a base hit more times than not.
This is Miguel Rojas. He's going to pinch hit for Jeff Mathis, who was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. And a strike to Rojas. Popped up, foul ground. AJ's going to chase it down, and he's going to make the play. Rojas, a big first out.
Well, AJ saw that immediately. I mean, he got jammed real bad, but sometimes when that happens, a catcher has a hard time finding the ball. He saw it and read it immediately. Because if he doesn't catch it, it might drop.
So there's the first out of the inning. Casey McGee steps in now. McGee 3 for his last 19. And 192 at the plate since rejoining the Marlins. I recall last year McGee really resurrected his major league career after a stint in Japan. He came back to the Marlins and played great. And the Giants, trying to replace Pablo Sandoval, brought McGee in to play third base, and he had very little luck. He has some there as a single into center field will load the bases. Just out of reach of Jace Peterson, and they're loaded.
Too much of the plate, and it was up, and it was close enough to Jace's glove that it froze Ichiro Suzuki. Loaded for the top of the order.
D. Gordon doubled and scored in the first. Back to the screen. Even count.
D. Gordon's having a terrific year, and it might surprise you to know that coming into the game he was hitting .355 against left-handed pitching, .319 against right-handers.
Ichiro, Echeverria, and McGee the runners. And back to the screen. Foul. He's ahead 1-2. Marlins this year have not been a good team hitting with the bases loaded. Their team batting average 184.
Strikeout be huge here. Even with the bases loaded, you're still looking for a double play ball, but Gordon obviously going to be tough to double up.
Line drive left field, base hit, 1 run scores. Echeverria gets the green light. He's coming around. The throw's into second. They might have Gordon in a rundown, but no throw is going to be offered by Peterson. And the Marlins have struck for 2 in the 8th off McKirahan. His first hit of the year with the bases loaded. And we've got a 1-run game.
Like you said earlier, Tom, when you get ahead in the count, this pitch is one that he's just trying to fight off. He's willing to do that in order to cover the outside part.
Yeah, and I mean that's part of the learning curve with pitching. You know, with 2 strikes in any situation, but particularly bases loaded, your miss can't be right there. Your miss has got to be down off the plate in the dirt.
Time called. Looks like D. Gordon needs some sort of protective device. as he thinks about maybe trying to steal second base. He's got 34 swipes on the season. Tying run 90 feet away. Dietrich's had a good night at the plate, including a homer. With one out, a fly ball could tie it up.
Can't believe Casey McGee was able to go first to third on that, because he doesn't run well at all.
Always have to be careful on a move to first base with Bob Davidson and the umpiring crew.
Read my mind.
One ball, no strikes. All this trouble started with a leadoff walk to Ichiro. A bunt hit, a pop out, and back-to-back singles have plated 2 Miami runs. He was late. Now Dietrich gets hit by a pitch. And Roger McDowell will have to go to the bullpen phone, and the Marlins have him loaded again.
Right above the elbow. I thought he had a guard on.
I think he does. Looks like he had one under his sleeve.
Yeah, he does, but maybe it missed the guard. Must have.
$18,548 waterlogged fans hoping to see the Braves get out of this inning.
They were out of the game last night as the rain really picks up. They were down 8-0 and scored 6 runs in the 9th to make it close.
So far the infield looks to be in good shape. The mound too. No sign of Ed Mangan of the ground crew near the tarp. As Yelich hits with the bases loaded, 1 out. Braves by a run. And he went around, strike 1.
If they have to cover the field and this game can't continue, my recollection is that it reverts back to the last completed full inning.
Correct.
That Rosin can't afford a wild pitch here. And their hottest hitter up there. Last guy I'd want to see up there, even lefty to lefty.
Two and two.
It was a 1-2 count to Gordon when he jammed him with that fastball, but it was too good a pitch. So where do you go here?
Well, I'd like to see him take another shot with that breaking ball, or minimum fastball down and away. But Something down and away has got to finish down and away, not finish up over the plate or finish in the middle.
If the infielders know that, well, they got to play for a double play. So Castro's got to hover near the bag. But I was just going to say, if you're going to pitch him away, be ready on the left side.
Yelich has hit into 7 double plays this year. The rain now just a mist. And the 2-2 pitch. Sharply hit to third. There's one. There's a late throw.
Couldn't get it out of his glove.
Garcia decided to go to second. He could have come to the plate. And the Marlins tie it up on a forced play. It's 8-8 in the 8th.
If Jace gets it out of his glove cleanly, they still turn the double play. But as sharply as that was hit, I thought he was going to come home. There was the slight bobble and too late to first.
So McGee scores the tying run. The Marlins with 3 in the 8th. And we're not out of the woods yet. Bohr hits with runners at the corners. 2 outs now. And Gordon was sprinting down the third base line as McKirahan made that throw to first.
Rays almost caught a break. He almost wiped out.
Strike one.
Don't be surprised. D. Gordon knows his move now. He reads that right. He just might take off.
Especially with Garcia so deep at third.
Oh, 2. Swing and a rocket down the right field line. That is a foul ball.
Perry Hill, coaching at first, thought it was fair. He was holding his arm up for a fair ball. David Rackley said no.
I thought it was fair.
Me too.
Nope.
Foul ball. Said soft, softer, softest. These big guys. Now's the time to do it. 0-2.
Yeah, you got to throw it. You got to have confidence in AJ to block it.
Not there.
Nope. Got away with one.
Kirahan stepped off, put his head down, and A.J. Brzezinski had to, hey.
Yeah, pay attention.
D. Gordon's over there. Up and in. 1-2.
I almost, because of the way Bohr swings and he's trying to pull the ball, he is a pull hitter. I'd have Garcia come in closer to the bag just to keep D. Gordon honest.
Pop fly foul, out of play, back toward us.
Another fastball.
Yep. Well, but after that last breaking ball that he threw that was under his chin, either he's not feeling the grip very good, or he's got no confidence in that pitch. But if he's going to keep throwing fastballs, he better locate it better.
What's this one? Up.
He got it there, and Bohr swung at it. It was collarbone high. Miami, though, scores 3 times in the 8th inning. And the Braves' lead disappears on a rainy night. Bottom half of the inning coming up. 8-9-1 for the Bravos. 8-8 game now. In the 8th. And fans watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widgets, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV for details. Lots of changes for the Fightin' Fish as we enter the bottom of the 8th inning.
One of them for sure is Brian Morris. 42nd game. Finally lost a game out of the bullpen after last year. I think he went undefeated. Like 7-0 with the Pirates and 4-0 with these guys.
Tomas Tellez is the new catcher. And I believe Casey McGee is at first base. We'll get you the batting order in a second. First, Castro will lead things off. He's had a good night. 2 for 3.
Mid-90s fastball for Morris. And a lot of sliders.
Pedro Siriaco's on deck. He'll bat for McCurahan. And that's rolled foul. 0-2. Lots of big run scoring nights all around Major League Baseball today. Dodgers beat the Phillies 10-8. Tigers beat the Royals 8-6. Milwaukee beat San Diego 10-1. And can anybody stop Toronto? They beat the Twins again 9-3 today at Rogers Center. Here it's 8-8.
Tom and I were talking about that Toronto lineup. No way a pitcher would want to face those guys, especially in their home ballpark.
No, that'd be a big task.
Coming into play today, they've hit 31 homers in the last 18 games. Right back where it came from. That's off the pitcher's foot. Castro on the run. Ball's thrown away. It's down by the tarp. And Castro's at second base as the Braves play pinball with another Marlins pitcher.
Daniel Castro has taken out their whole staff.
Well, that was a kick save and a beauty, but not a good throw to go along with it.
Morris in much better shape than was Urania earlier. But a really bad throw. Hitting an error. Boy, was he off the mark.
Yeah, he just picked that up and flung it.
So Siriaco has a whole lot of options here.
I hope
get him to
the
third.
right side is one of them.
That's exactly right. Get him to third however you can. There's the bunt, and it's perfect. One play, and it's made. Close play at first. Siriaco continues his great work off the bench. And look who's first to greet him at the end of the dugout, Cameron Maybin.
Infield will have to play in. An advantage there for Jace.
Peterson's had a terrific night in his return to the leadoff spot. 2 hits, 2 runs, and an RBI. He's also got a flyout. Braves would take another one of those here. Go ahead run 90 feet away. And a slider strike.
Stopped by Tellis. Tough spot here for Jace now. 0-2 because Morse throws hard. You got to respect the fastball. He's already thrown you one breaking ball for a strike, and you've chased another.
See if he tries to elevate that fastball after the breaking ball in the dirt or go back to it.
Wow, what a stop. Great stop.
Almost hit Jace in the foot. He is great in this situation by comparison to the rest of the league.
And they are staying down into Peterson. That one missed. 2-2.
Jace would like another hack at that one. That one did not finish like the previous 2. That one stayed up a little bit, fouled it off. They were trying to go down again. Left that one thigh high.
Yeah.
A single and a throwing error. A sacrifice has a runner at third base for Peterson, and a 2-2 pitch.
Dallas is pretty much telling him, throw it in the dirt. I'll handle it. At this stage, chase reaching base doesn't matter to the Marlins, so they can throw him another breaking ball if they want.
Full count. Ground ball toward Gordon. Won't get the runner in. 2 outs.
Was another breaking ball out over the plate, but down. Good pitch. Oh, off the plate, actually.
You got a good look at that.
Now the Marlins infield can retreat just a bit as Yuri Perez hits with 2 outs. Now time for Morris to overcook one of those breaking balls.
Agreed. D. Gordon has really shortened up at second base just in case Perez has any ideas of bunting him in. Prado even with the bag.
Swing and a line drive left. That ball is down, and the Braves take the lead. Yuri Perez with a clutch 2-out single.
Flat slider.
Yep.
Stayed on it. Just out of the reach of Dietrich.
So the Braves take the lead back in the 8th inning. It's 9-8. And for the 5th time in their last 7 games, the Marlins have allowed more than 5 runs and more than 12 hits. Amazing.
That was a big hit.
Kind of like this lineup. Hard to not like 9 and 12, huh?
Yeah.
Well, they're putting together good at bats. They're battling, getting good results.
Vizcaino is up in the Atlanta bullpen. He will have the 5, 6, and 7 hitters on the Marlins lineup card. And Perez just back.
I think he's going here.
He's acting like he wants to.
Yeah. He had a little weight out over on his right foot. Morris kind of bluffed him back.
Bouncing ball toward Echeverria. He'll step on the bag, and that will end the inning. A throwing error was a huge play in the Atlanta 8th inning. Morris gives up the go-ahead run. Atlanta tries to end it as we head to the top of the 9th. brings home Daniel Castro to give Atlanta a 9-8 lead after 8 innings tonight. Braves fans, spend your weekends with us at Turner Field. We have great upcoming weekend matchups with the Diamondbacks, the Yankees, and the Mets, along with Friday night fireworks and kids run the bases on Sundays. The weekends are the perfect time to catch a game. Join us at Braves.com/tickets today to plan your visit to Turner Field. Wild game tonight, and a chance for a little history for Braves right-hander Arodys Vizcaino.
0 career saves, going for #1 right here tonight. He's been terrific. Freddie Gonzalez was talking about him to you and I, Chip, after a game recently, and he was talking about the improvement he's made in throwing strikes. His command's been excellent.
And even though Joey hasn't had many save opportunities, Freddie, I think, has done an excellent job of getting him into late inning, late game situations to simulate as best he can an exact opportunity like this.
Yeah, I thought that was really important on the last road trip.
So we'll see what Vizcaino has in store for us. Prado, Ichiro, and Echeverria are coming up for the Marlins. A wild seesaw back and forth affair. Martin Prado, a 3 RBI night. He's done that with 1 hit and 2 sacrifice flies. And a good start. 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Jazzed up a little bit, ready to finish this game up. Flying open a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, you gotta stay under control and just have that nice easy 98 gas that you threw for strike 1. Don't force it.
To third. Garcia's got it. Long throw right on the money. 1 out. Legendary Ichiro Suzuki stands in. He's got a hit, 2 walks, and a run scored tonight. The 3rd inning base hit, number 2,906.
And when he's finished playing 5 years later, I believe he'll be the first Japanese player inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, whether he gets 3,000 hits or not.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Fly ball foul. How exceptional has Ichiro been? In the modern era since 1900, Ichiro Suzuki owns 3 of the top 17 single season hit totals. In 115 years of Major League Baseball, he's got 3 of them,
including #1.
262 in 2004. Wow.
Oh.
And of those 262 hits, 37 of them were for extra bases.
Only 37. How many walks that year?
In 04, he walked 49 times. And he did that a lot. On a 1-2 pitch, he just served it into left field, and Ichiro represents the tying run.
If he had run hard to first base, he might have been able to go to second because that ball squirted by Perez, and he just carved this one.
Yeah, just kind of carved it out there, put his head down, took his single, and like I said, didn't realize that Perez bobbled it a little bit, thankfully.
An amazing hitter. Here's Echeverria. He had a heads up at bat in the 8th inning, a bunt single against McKirahan. That helped lead to a 3-run Marlin tying inning. Anthony's a strike. .99 and right on by.
Yeah, that was Gasola. Some pitchers like to get the ball and work quickly. I think in Vizcaino's case, like we saw with the first batter when he missed a couple of pitches to Prado, AJ's doing a good job of not putting the signs down right away, giving him a chance to kind of reset.
Slow down, slow the game down a little bit. Now you can still pitch quickly, but in your mind slow the game down. You know, I think sometimes you get so caught up in what's going on and trying to hurry up and get something done that you just get the ball, get back on the mound and hurry up and make another pitch and don't really think about the process of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to execute. That's where you slow the game down in your mind a little bit, but still have a good pace to what you're doing.
How close was that pitch?
PNC Bank says it was strike 3.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't swing at it.
One-two count. AJ knocked it down, but it popped far enough away for Ichiro to take second, and that takes away the double play chance. And now a hit could tie it up. Wild pitch.
Off the plate, skipped off the plate, glove, shin guard. And the catchers will tell you anywhere but the plate.
In the air to right, but that's playable for Markakis. And no advance by Ichiro. There's the second out. And the catcher Tellis is the final Marlins hope. It's Tellis. That's how you pronounce Tomas's last name. He came up Monday. He was acquired from Texas at the deadline this year. '71 games between AAA Round Rock and New Orleans. .292 average, 5 homers, 26 RBIs. He's a switch hitter.
And Roger out to deliver any type of scouting report they might have on him.
Braves Live's coming up next. Hopefully we'll be talking about a series opening victory for Atlanta. Right there, a strike. Tellis came from the Rangers for right-handed pitcher Sam Dyson.
I don't think he's thrown anything under 98.
No.
Two outs, a lot of pressure on the defense to make a play. with a tying run in scoring position.
Oh, AJ tried to frame it. But it was off the plate. 2 balls and a strike.
Call by Bob Davidson. I don't know how good a fastball hitter Talise is, but all of a sudden 3-1. That's all he's got to look for and think about.
No, you got to be smart here. You know you want to get the game over with. You want to get that last out, but you got a base open. Right-handed hitter on deck. Three balls, 1 strike. Bouncing ball toward Castro at short. He unloads quickly, and the Braves have won it.
Nice play.
Arodys Vizcaíno picks up his first major league save, and the Braves outslug the Marlins on a rainy night. 9-8 the final score. Nice souvenir for Arodys. Braves beat the Marlins again. Nice ball game. 9-8 your final. We'll recap it for you from Turner Field in a moment.